Ever heard that making someone feel upset or guilty is a big no-no? Well, here's the scoop. Sometimes it's necessary if you want them to see things from your perspective. To make them understand how much they've hurt you, you might need to figure out how to make them feel guilty. But here's the catch. If they don't care and just keep doing their thing, that behavior is likely to repeat. They could hurt you again, or even someone else. So, if you want them to learn from your pain, you've got to show them and help them grasp what they did. To truly make someone feel sorry, you first need to understand the emotion that will drive their remorse. Guilt. Guilt is a not-so-fun feeling that people experience when they feel shame or embarrassment about themselves or their actions. It can stem from something they did or didn't do, or even from having thoughts that they consider morally wrong. Many people avoid feeling guilty. They don't want to admit they did something wrong, so they push those feelings away. If it's not brought up again, they might forget about it completely. However, feeling guilt is important because it teaches lessons. The more guilt someone feels, the more they learn from their actions. Those who ignore guilt often make the same mistakes over and over. Eventually, the guilt comes back in uglier and more toxic ways that are harder to hide. By emphasizing or even manufacturing guilt in another person, you increase the likelihood of making that person feel sorry. To make someone feel sorry, you have to paint yourself as the victim of their actions. It may be tempting to be aggressive towards the person for the wrong they committed, but this can lead to them getting defensive rather than feeling sorry. You have to make them admit what they did through gradual steps. Ask questions instead of accusing them outright. If they won't admit their mistake, they probably won't apologize. Asking leading questions can help you get them to confess or catch them in a lie. For example, if you suspect your significant other was with someone else, ask why they didn't answer the phone. If they claim they were at work, you can question it by saying, "No, you weren't, because I called there too." Be cautious about accusing them of something they didn't do, as it might lead them to think they might as well do it if they're going to be blamed anyway. Sometimes, if you're dealing with particularly stubborn or sensitive people, they might get defensive, even if you do ask questions. They may try to flip the guilt around on you. Don't let them blame you for the situation when you're giving them a guilt trip. Even if you made a mistake, don't admit it. Instead, focus on what the other person did. For example, if you want your friend to apologize for lying to you and he tries to make you feel guilty for being paranoid, you can respond with, "Well, you've given me a reason to be suspicious, haven't you?" To amplify the guilt trip further, you can remind them of the nice things you've done for them. Highlight all the good stuff you've done, especially if it's recent or significant. It doesn't have to be related to the current issue. The point is to show them what a good person you are. For instance, if someone takes something without asking, you might say, "After all I've given you, why would you take from me?" Or, if you brought them a gift recently, you could say, "I guess my gesture meant nothing, considering you want to argue today." Remember, as mentioned earlier, you are portraying yourself as a victim, gradually highlighting their faults bit by bit, rather than hitting them with it all at once. And finally, to inject the feeling of guilt, you can amp up the emotion. Keep in mind that anger is not to be included here, since it can make the person aggressive in return. Rather, you want to show some form of pain, whether it is severe disappointment or sadness. Your energy will be contagious. The person will see you in this state of pain, and when combined with the methods mentioned earlier in this video, they will feel a sense of responsibility for it, thus leading to them feeling sorry. Now that you're aware of what guilt is and how to evoke that feeling in someone, take a moment to consider why you want to do it. It's worth pondering, because guilt is an unpleasant emotion that nobody enjoys. Start by thinking about whether the person truly did something significantly wrong. Reflect on whether your perspective on their behavior is accurate, or if you might be exaggerating things. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for future videos. Until next time, stay aware, stay empowered, and remember, Knowledge is your greatest defense against the unseen forces that shape our world.